right, so this went viral the other day, and it is about women's sports. So, right now, new broadcasting guidelines for women's athletics have been released to crack down on camera angles and slow motion replays that sexualize athletes. The guidelines highlight shots broadcasters are urged to avoid. So right here, they can't have under their butt shots. They can't have when they're bending down. They can't have shots of the female athletes. I think we live in clown world. And here's the thing. I'm going to piss off everyone by saying this. Women need to wear some clothes. And I am not against appreciating and uplifting the human form. Right? Some of the greatest pieces of art depict even nude depictions of women. But those are depictions. They're not actually women. Like, we shouldn't have women going around showing their butts and their boobs in public. Why? Because modesty is a virtue, and modesty, I think actually the Catechism of the Catholic Church talks about modesty in a really, really great way, in that modesty is concealing that which should remain hidden and should only be revealed in due time and in the proper context. I'm kind of butchering it there, but that's essentially what the Catechism says, and I think that's true. That's what modesty is, where what is, like, the woman form is beautiful, right? And the female body is just inherently sexual, and God created that way, and that's not a bad thing. But who is it for? And it should not be for, right, the gooning of mass hordes of men on the internet. A woman's beauty is for her husband. And so there's nothing wrong with appreciating the female body, of course, but each individual woman, aside from very rare exceptions, they're all meant to be wedded to one man. And so her body, her beauty, her sexuality should be reserved and hidden for her husband. Oh, you're such a trad. I'm not a trad. This is just basic anthropology. And this is also, if you're a Christian, you also should believe this. This is just Christianity 101. But at the same time, I also acknowledge they're doing this not because they want to not sexualize women anymore. They're not doing this to protect women anymore. They're doing it because they hate beauty, right? They see a lot of these broadcasters and these globalist shills and these unelected bureaucrats, they see women and all these activists, they see beautiful women who, right, get the attention of the male gaze with their nice curves and their figures and their smiles. They're really pretty, and they hate that. So they want to eliminate that because they hate beauty. So the reason why they're implementing these changes in these broadcast guidelines is not because they don't want to sexualize women anymore. It's because they hate beautiful women. That's what it is. I acknowledge that. But at the same time, it's not the broadcasting guidelines that need to change. It's just the nature of women's sports needs to change entirely. And so my friend Tanner Cartwright says this, and I think this is actually very apropos. You only have three options: sexualize women's sports, subsidize women's sports, and get rid of women's sports. Literally, no one is watching women because they're good at competitive sports, because they're not. Women were made to be helpers and baby makers, and they are amazing at it. Yes, this is true in the design. We talked about this earlier in our Amy Coney Barrett segment, that they are designed. God created women to be the helpmates of men. That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. And so you have three options. Either sexualize women's sports, because that's literally the only reason why men watch, by the way. You subsidize it because it doesn't bring in any money, or you get rid of it. And like we discussed before, I am for getting rid of women's sports. If it only can exist if you subsidize it, it shouldn't exist in the first place. But like I said, like competitive high impact contact sports are functionally transgender, because women are not meant to be competitive against each other. They're not meant to be aggressive. They're meant to be gentle and quiet in spirit, like it says in 1 Peter 3. They're meant to be gentle, cooperative, submissive. I know that's a very ooga booga term. It's a very scary term, but that's how God created us differently. Women for that, and men to be competitors, to be the combatants, to be the warriors, and to be the fighters. And so the only way that women's sports has any appeal is if you sexualize it. But do we want women to be sexualized? I don't. I certainly don't. And there is a way you can appreciate the female body and appreciate the human form without sexualizing people. It is possible. But in our day and age today, with the mass proliferation of pornography, hardcore pornography, it is near impossible. The average male brain has been so thoroughly rotted by pornography. So, yes, we should desexualize women's sports, but also we should probably just get rid of all of it and actually not incentivize women to pursue professional sports where they have to exert their body to the point where they struggle with infertility, but actually we should incentivize them to be the helpmates and good mothers, helpmates of husbands, of men, and also to be good wives and mothers. And so I saw this meme about in response to this, and they're like, oh, this is what it's about to look like soon. It's just women in their hijabs and their burqas, right, playing volleyball. USA versus France, they're in their burqas. And that's the thing, like I am not so trad where I'm like, oh, women need to cover up everything, even their ankles. I'm like, it's fine to show a wrist. I'm actually pretty moderate when it comes to modesty. I actually even think it's okay to show a little shoulder. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too libtarded there, but I think it's fine. As long as you're not showing like cleavage in your butt and too much excesses of your like legs. Like I think it's okay. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too naive in that way, but it's like I don't think women should cover up everything. They shouldn't certainly cover up their faces. I think women, like, they should be able to show their face at least. Like, how dehumanizing is it to just cover up your entire face and you walk around like this? But there needs to be a conversation about how women, yes, need to put on some clothes. Just put on some clothes if you're going to compete in sports. You don't need to literally just wear underwear. And people always say, no, they need to do that because that's just standard attire. It's not. You look at all the guidelines for acceptable attire for women's sports. That's how these women from Muslim countries can wear their burqa and their hijabs and still play. So women put on some clothes, and women, they love the attention. So women, I don't think they will, which is why it's incumbent on men to enforce a certain degree of standards of dress and decorum for women to not just walk around with their butts hanging out. Like, literally, you look at track meets, you look at volleyball games, you look at beach volleyball games. The things that women are wearing, they're not even wearing anything. Like, can you imagine if men were playing sports like that? Just wearing a thong and just playing with a thong. It's so preposterous. It is so cringe and disgusting for men to do that. Like, oh, I don't know why we think it's okay for women to do that. And it's okay because, yes, I get it. Like, their body is good to look at. It's nice to look at. And if they're beautiful, it's like nice. Yeah, but it's, again, like, what is their body for? Their body is for their husband. And so it should be hidden and preserved and shielded for their husband. And that's what it's for. So I'm all for upholding beauty and appreciating the human form. But also at the same time, we can do so while advocating for modesty in society. I'm going to piss off everyone with that. But I don't know. I think that's just the truth. What do you want me to do? I'm just here. I'm a truth teller. I'm a humble truth teller out here. So yes, woman, put on some clothes. You don't have to be butt naked when you play sports. It is not necessary. And at the same time, like, let's not just cater towards the lowest common denominator. It's okay to uphold beauty in society, especially female beauty, because like that's literally what motivates men, does it not? Like, beautiful women. But it has to be in the proper context, and with the proper rails, so you have healthy expressions of male and female sexuality.